and then tried to play the victim on the set with her. Anyway, it led to article after article of people being like, Ellen's a bitch. Ellen is a nasty person. And all these staffers started to come out.
So I think they're just throwing stuff at the wall and hoping that it sticks because they know that their client is guilty and they're just trying to do the best that they can with a guilty client.
Megyn Kelly's show took a stunning turn when Rob Schneider, known for his comedic roles and outspoken personality, joined her to pull back the curtain on Ellen DeGeneres' seemingly untouchable image. Hollywood loves its heroes, but it loves its fallen heroes even more, and Ellen's fall from grace is the scandal that just won't quit. Once the queen of daytime television, dancing her way into America's living rooms while preaching kindness, Ellen's pristine image has been tarnished by whispers, tweets, and full-blown exposes of behavior that stands in stark contrast to her sunny, on-screen persona. But Rob Schneider didn't just whisper about it. He laid it all out on Megyn Kelly's platform, leaving jaws on the floor and forcing even her staunchest defenders to take a second look.
So she eventually got canceled, but now she's coming back. She's got a Netflix special. That's the right response.
Yeah.
She's got a Netflix special. And here's the capper. On the promo, and apparently there's now articles out about from people who have seen the preview, she plays the victim.
So here's where it begins. Rob Schneider walked onto Megyn Kelly's set with the kind of energy that only someone with nothing left to lose carries. He didn't come to mince words or play coy. Instead, he came armed with observations, anecdotes, and a boldness that made even Megyn, who's no stranger to controversy, sit back and let him lead. Right out of the gate, Rob turned to the subject of Ellen's Netflix special, which, for many, was her attempt at a glittering comeback. Run out of Hollywood, Schneider quipped with a raised eyebrow. She wasn't run out of anything. She cashed out. She's sitting on hundreds of millions, flipping mansions like Monopoly pieces, and she's still out here playing the victim card. It's insulting, honestly. The audience, both in the studio and at home, was captivated. Ellen's Netflix special, titled For Your Approval, had already sparked controversy with its unapologetic tone, but Schneider wasn't convinced by the comedic spin she put on her scandals. He sarcastically mimicked her, saying that she portrayed herself as misunderstood and labeled as mean, while living on estates larger than most small towns. He added a punchline that was both humorous and biting, stating that she couldn't complain about double standards while flying first class to her 10th mansion.
And I think also
I'm
to admit your mistakes.
Of all people on earth to be feeling sorry for herself, Ellen DeGeneres should not be on the list.
She should at least, but make a real apology and do it.
There's no apology. It's just woe is me. I was run out of Hollywood as she speaks from this grandiose stage on Netflix. Hello, you haven't been canceled if you are doing a Netflix special. She got $20 million for the one before this. I'm sure she's fine.
I'm sure she's fine.
Megyn offered a knowing smile, indicating her agreement while letting Rob take the lead. She mentioned Ellen's famous "be kind" mantra, which now seems ironic. She noted that the hypocrisy is what bothers people, as Ellen advocated for kindness while allegedly creating a toxic workplace, as described by multiple staffers. Rob then delved deeper into the culture of Ellen's long-running talk show, which he claimed was an open secret in Hollywood. He stated that everyone knew about the toxic environment, where working on Ellen's show meant keeping your head down and avoiding eye contact to prevent humiliation in front of the crew. He questioned who would impose such rules on their staff.
You never forget that even though she has $450 million, I really do, and I mean this sincerely, the fact that she had to hold back that she was a lesbian for years, and ABC told me you couldn't come out. I mean, that frustration would create an anger and a resentment that I think is understandable for people.
The depth of Rob's comments was shocking, to say the least, but what truly made the headlines was when he dropped a story that had everyone gasping. He recounted hearing from a friend's sister, someone who had worked on the set of Ellen's show, about the no eye contact rule.
Well, yeah, that's disingenuous. That's disingenerous. That's disgenerous. Well, I think there's certainly no lack of, I don't sense any humility in that.
No, and no one cares that now she's dealing with chickens. It's like, all right,
You're a normal $450 million person.
By now, Megyn could only nod along, clearly as captivated as the audience. Schneider continued, his tone shifting to one of seriousness, stating that Ellen doesn't even really apologize in a meaningful way. Instead, she treats the situation as part of her comedy routine using sarcasm and deflection, which people are tired of.
Hello, Sean Diddy Combs. How are you?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, thank you. Do you like being scared?
Schneider was referring to Ellen's approach in her Netflix special, where she played off the accusations with jokes that some found clever, but many found tone deaf. One of the most discussed moments was her quip about being labeled the be kind girl, joking that a mean person wouldn't dance up steps, turning years of criticism into a quick laugh. However, for Schneider and others, this wasn't enough, as it lacked genuine accountability and made the issue seem smaller than it was. The conversation then took a deeper turn as Megyn pressed Schneider on why he thought Ellen had managed to stay afloat despite the backlash. Schneider explained that Hollywood loves a comeback story, especially if it fits their narrative. Ellen checks all the boxes. She's a trailblazer, has the money to weather the storm, and still has friends in high places. People want to believe she's the underdog, even when she clearly isn't. Schneider then addressed Ellen directly, as if she were watching, stating that if she wants people to forgive her, she needs to be real. She should admit she messed up and hurt people, and then do the work to fix it. Her current woe is me act is tired.
Yes.
Well, that's why. Why don't you have one here on the West Coast? Because I work all the time.
Okay, well, maybe I have one at your house.
Where's that?
The audience was silent, hanging on every word. Megyn didn't show any doubt that Schneider had crossed a line. In fact, she doubled down, bringing up the broader implications of Ellen's fall from grace. She noted that it's not just about one person, but about what Hollywood tolerates and what it doesn't. Ellen's story is a case study in how far someone can push people before they push back. Schneider agreed, but added that the power dynamic is crucial. Ellen wasn't just a host, she was an empire. People depended on her, and she used that power in ways that hurt them. The real story is about the people she stepped on along the way, not the jokes, the dancing, or the chickens she's raising now.
Also gay.
Why was it necessary for you to come out, tell the public? Why was it necessary for the character to do so?
Because it's okay. Because
as the segment wrapped up, Megyn turned to the audience with a question that seemed to sum up the entire conversation. Is there a path to redemption for Ellen, or has the damage been done? Schneider, for his part, didn't seem optimistic. Redemption is possible for anyone, he said, but it starts with honesty, and I haven't seen that from her yet. With that, the conversation transitioned seamlessly into the next topic, one that would deepen the intrigue surrounding Ellen's life and career. Because as much as the public had heard about her alleged workplace antics, there was another layer to the story, a layer tied to her relationship with Diddy Combs and the resurfaced clips that had everyone talking. If Schneider's words had left the audience speechless, what came next would have them questioning everything they thought they knew about Ellen DeGeneres.
Ellen's alleged bad behavior had been whispered about in the industry for years.
So, just when you thought the Ellen DeGeneres scandal couldn't get more tangled, enter Diddy Combs, a name that's been making waves for all the wrong reasons lately. If you've been following the headlines, you already know that Diddy's world has been turned upside down, with allegations and controversies piling up faster than anyone can keep track of. But what does Ellen DeGeneres have to do with all of this? Buckle up, because things are about to get even messier.
One makeup artist was quoted as saying that when he tried to make small talk with Ellen, she supposedly said, "Who do you think you are?"
Let's rewind to the time when Ellen and Diddy's seemingly friendly relationship was nothing but lighthearted banter and playful camaraderie, at least on the surface. It was the kind of Hollywood friendship that looked good for the cameras, with Ellen poking fun at Diddy's tardiness or his legendary bashes, and Diddy, in turn, cracking jokes while keeping things light. But recent events have cast those interactions in a much darker light, especially as old clips resurface and fans begin to connect the dots. Was there more to their relationship than met the eye? And did Ellen know more about Diddy's behind-the-scenes antics than she let on?
I've had clients describe NBC as hell, as the worst conditions they...
One clip that's been making the rounds is from 2018, when Diddy appeared on the Ellen DeGeneres show. What seemed like an innocent conversation about parties and punctuality now feels loaded with subtext. Ellen joked that the party really starts when Diddy shows up, practically begging him to come to her own upcoming event. Not too late, though, she teased. Once you get there, the party really starts. At the time, it was just playful chatter, but now fans are scrutinizing every word. What kind of parties was Ellen referring to? And was she aware of the kind of company Diddy allegedly kept at his more private gatherings? It's the kind of question that makes you pause and wonder just how much Hollywood's elite really know about each other. But the real bombshell came from a resurfaced tweet Ellen posted back in 2016, in what was meant to be a birthday shout-out to Diddy. She referred to him by a nickname that has since raised more than a few eyebrows. Cuddle McSnugglestuff. Innocent, quirky, and very Ellen, right? Except for the part where she added, "You don't need to know why." That single cryptic line has sent social media into a frenzy, with users speculating about what exactly Ellen meant. Was it just an inside joke, or was there a deeper meaning? And now, with Diddy facing some of the most serious allegations of his career, that nickname feels downright eerie.
Now, so what is next? Is he going to be in jail in this facility until the trial begins? Is there a chance he could, get moved earlier than that?
As of this moment, as of this hour, as of today, yes. But of course, as I mentioned earlier, they're going to be appealing this thing next to the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals to overturn the judge's order here to try and get him actually released.
But here's where things take an unexpected turn. Rumors have started swirling that Ellen might have attended one of Diddy's infamous late-night gatherings. While no concrete evidence has surfaced to back up these claims, the internet sleuths have been working overtime. A series of blurry photos from a high-profile event in the early 2010s have been making the rounds on social media, with some alleging that Ellen can be spotted in the background, chatting with Diddy and other notable figures. Could this be proof that Ellen was closer to Diddy's inner circle than she's ever let on? Or is this just another conspiracy theory running wild? Either way, it's added another layer of intrigue to an already convoluted story. Adding more fuel to the fire, fans have pointed out that Ellen's departure from daytime television coincided almost eerily with the growing whispers about Diddy's controversial lifestyle. While the official narrative was that Ellen stepped away from her show to focus on personal projects and her family, some can't help but wonder if there was more to the timing. Was she trying to get ahead of a potential scandal? Or was it just a coincidence that the walls were closing in on multiple Hollywood figures at the same time? The optics, as they say, aren't great.
And a lot of the evidence, alleged evidence, that's been gathered in this case was from those two raids that were conducted on his personal homes in Miami and Los Angeles. And the indictment names the things seized that he allegedly made videos of these performances that have been named freak-offs.
And let's not forget the cryptic remarks Ellen has made in interviews about knowing when to walk away. In a conversation with a well-known journalist shortly before the final season of her show aired, Ellen remarked that sometimes you just feel like it's time to move on. Not because you want to, but because you have to. At the time, the comment seemed like a vague reflection on her long career in entertainment. But now, fans are revisiting those words with a whole new perspective, questioning whether Ellen might have been hinting at something much bigger than a career change.
There are some problems that the defense has brought up originally, but it seems like, just from reading this 14-page indictment, that there is enough physical evidence to perhaps get a conviction in this case. We shall see. These are allegations.
But it doesn't stop there. The internet being the internet, countless theories have started swirling about Ellen's connection to Diddy's infamous gatherings, the ones that have now become the subject of federal investigations. While there's no confirmed evidence tying Ellen to any wrongdoing, fans have pointed out her history of attending star-studded parties hosted by Hollywood's elite, including Diddy. Could Ellen have been a guest at some of these now notorious events? One viral comment summed up the public sentiment succinctly. Ellen knows more than she's letting on, and that nickname, it's not sitting right with me. Another chimed in, why did she leave the country right after the election? What was she trying to avoid? And yes, about that, Ellen and her wife, Portia D. Rossi, did indeed leave the United States not long after the 2016 election, relocating to the Cotswolds in England. While they cited a desire for a change of pace and a break from the chaos of American politics, skeptics have latched onto the timing, suggesting that Ellen may have been looking to distance herself from looming controversies. Add to this the fact that she reportedly sold off her Montecito estate, and you start to see why people are raising questions. Coincidence or calculated move? It's hard to say, but the timing has certainly fueled speculation.
Why doesn't the government want him to turn himself in? Because then they can't ask for detention. So they go and they arrest him. They arrest a guy who came to New York to turn himself in.
Let's dig deeper into their interactions. Another resurfaced moment between Ellen and Diddy happened during a different episode of her show, where the two discussed his legendary birthday celebrations. Ellen, always the curious host, asked him outright if she was invited. Diddy joked, I invite you to all my parties. You just haven't shown up. Ellen's response, I know about them. Now that could mean anything, but fans have latched onto the phrase, interpreting it as a subtle acknowledgement that she was aware of the types of activities that allegedly took place at these events. Whether that's true or not, the clip has only added fuel to the fire.
This has to be a 100% culture shock. I can't imagine living a lifestyle of the incredibly rich and famous and then going into this very dark, impersonal, cold, austere facility.
And then there's the matter of Ellen's public persona. For years, she crafted an image as the approachable, quirky comedian who danced her way into everyone's hearts. But as allegations of a toxic workplace culture on her show began to surface, that image took a hit. Now, with her name being brought up in the context of Diddy's legal troubles, it's hard not to question just how much of Ellen's public persona was genuine. Was she really the be-kind advocate she portrayed herself to be, or was that just another layer of the Hollywood facade?
The special housing unit is a 24-hour lockdown unit, which means that any movement within that unit is controlled and coordinated, and no inmate moves outside of his cell without being in full restraints, to include leg irons, handcuffs, a belly chain, and at least 2, if not 3 staff members escorting them.
Of course, Ellen isn't the only celebrity whose name has been dragged into the whirlwind of scandals surrounding Diddy. A-listers like Khloe Kardashian, Ashton Kutcher, and even LeBron James have all been linked to his infamous bashes. While none of them have been implicated in any wrongdoing, the resurfaced clips and quotes from these stars have sparked renewed interest in just how much Hollywood's elite really knew about Diddy's private life. For instance, a clip from Keeping Up with the Kardashians shows Khloe casually mentioning that half the guests at a Diddy event were, well, not fully dressed. Meanwhile, Ashton Kutcher described the gatherings as weird, and LeBron James once referred to Diddy's parties as something out of this world. All of these comments, innocent at the time, now seem to carry a heavier weight.
You know, I think in federal court and for these charges, they would say it's routine, but in the public realm, this is very significant just from who we associate Diddy being and everything we've seen him do over the decades. Like you said, this is quite the downfall to go from, I mean, we saw the mansions back in March that were raided by the feds. So to go from living in those mansions to being in the...
But what sets Ellen apart is her unique position as both a comedian and a host who built her brand on authenticity. The idea that she might have been aware of or even complicit in anything untoward doesn't just challenge her public image, it shatters it. And with fans already skeptical after the revelations about her workplace behavior, this new layer of controversy feels like the final nail in the coffin for some. As for Ellen herself, she's remained silent on the matter. While she's continued to focus on her personal life and new ventures, the lack of a public statement addressing the resurfaced clips and rumors hasn't gone unnoticed. For someone who once thrived on being relatable and approachable, the radio silence speaks volumes. And yet, despite the mounting speculation, there's still a sense that Ellen could weather this storm, if only because Hollywood has a way of forgiving its own, especially when they're as wealthy and well-connected as she is. As Megyn Kelly pointed out, Ellen's status as a trailblazer and her history of philanthropy have earned her a level of goodwill that's hard to erase entirely. But goodwill only goes so far, and with each new clip or revelation, that goodwill only goes so far, and with each new clip or revelation, that goodwill is being tested.
As you all know, I made a request today for what we were calling a gag order, and I'm not going to walk out of court and do anything other than live up to that.
So, where does this leave Ellen? Is she simply a victim of guilt by association, dragged into a scandal that has nothing to do with her? Or is there more to her relationship with Diddy than she's letting on? And perhaps the bigger question, will she ever address the rumors directly, or will she continue to dance around the elephant in the room, just as she did with the allegations about her workplace? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on this and other breaking celebrity scandals. Until next time, stay tuned, because in Hollywood, the truth is always stranger than fiction.